My name is Christy Boothe Spalding, and today is May 13th, 2014. We are in Cordell, Oklahoma, interviewing Wayne Boothe as part of the Voices of Extension Oral History Project. Thank you for joining us today. To start off, could you talk a little bit about your early life, maybe when and where you were born?
Well, I was born on a farm 4 miles east of Cordell on April 28th, 1924. I'm only one generation away from coming to Ouachita County in a covered wagon, I guess, since both my father and my mother came to Ouachita County. My father in 1898 in a covered wagon.
And where did they come from in the covered wagon?
My grandfather brought his wife and my father from Criner Creek over near Purcell. And prior to that, they had come up from Nocona, Texas to Criner Creek.
What did your parents do for a living?
We lived on a farm, and Dad was a farmer.
Tell us about some interactions you had with the Oklahoma Cooperative Extension Service, 4-H, early in life.
Well, I never had a whole lot. 2 years I was in 4-H when I was in the 5th and 6th grade at Lincoln School at Cordell. And when I got in the 7th grade, I enrolled in vocational agriculture where they had an FFA program. But 4-H, we had a volunteer leader who really helped me a whole lot. She was a former school teacher, and I was very, very bashful. And really, I was so bashful and timid I couldn't lead in silent prayer. But she got me to express my opinion standing up. And prior to that, to her insistence and her leadership as a volunteer 4-H leader kind of got me off a dead center of being so bashful. That I was interested in livestock. She had no livestock information or teaching. Our county extension agent was Tig Fisher. Ouachita County did not have an extension agent right after the passing of the Smith-Lever Act. They, in fact, was a little reluctant to vote in an extension agent. And the farmers in Ouachita County got together and petitioned that we have a voting whether or not to establish an extension agent. And the first time it did not pass. The next voting it did pass, and that was about, I believe, 1917. Before Ouachita County had its first extension agent and its first 4-H. Prior to that time, they did have some community, they called them, I believe Dad said, a corn and pig club. He tells about when he first exhibited at the county fair. It was in 1912 as a member of the Corn and Extension Club from Center Point, a rural school.
And what was your father's name?
Claude Boothe.
Okay.
Dad was very conscientious. Dad and Mom were extremely insistent that we children, there's just two of us, I had one sister, get an education. And they were, well, Dad had, his father had come to Ouachita County, and one of the first things he did was help organize a school in his community.
And going back to you being in a 4-H club, you mentioned a volunteer leader, and what was her name? If you can remember.
Miss Sassine.
Okay. And how have you used those public speaking skills that you learned in 4-H since then? How have those skills helped you as you were growing?
Well, really, my training in 4-H opened a line of leadership in my ability. I was later state secretary for Oklahoma FFA, and I was state president for Oklahoma FFA. Cordell has had, I guess, 7 state officers. I'm the only one that was president, and the 6 other officers, of which I held one, was vice president. In 1943, I was elected president of the Oklahoma FFA. And today, I was honored at FFA convention as the oldest living state president of Oklahoma FFA.
And then did you have any national awards or?
Well, yes, I participated in some national activity. I was the first Star Farmer of America from Oklahoma in 1943. And I also was in livestock judging. Miss Sassine helped me tremendously in the ability to give reasons as to analyze a class of livestock and then talk reasons. We won several state livestock judging contests. I was the high individual, and we were the first team by some 140 points at the National Livestock Judging Contest for 4-H and FFA members that was held in Denver, Colorado in well, it was January of 1942. I talked, I guess I accomplished one thing that I never ever felt could exist. I missed a class of beef cattle in 1942 at the national contest because the best steer in the class had a little limp in him. And when we talked reasons, we had 12 classes of livestock. We gave 6 sets of reasons. I talked him as the would hang up the most desirable carcass, and was in my opinion, the best covered steer in the class. However, I criticized him because he had a limp, and I got 47 on the placings and a perfect 50 on my reasons. And that goes back to the early training that I got as a grade school 4-H club member.
What was 4-H like as a grade school member?
In the county, it was a pretty active organization. I went to school at Cordell, and every activity that we had was after school, and we had no livestock activity. But now, as I look back on it, the activity of developing oneself was very important training for a young grade school member, especially one who was extremely bashful.
So what are some things you did?
In 4-H?
Yes. Excuse me, yes.
Miss Sassine was a English and speech teacher, and she would give demonstrative lessons about public speaking. And she would have us read an article and then get up and discuss that article, which gives you the ability to analyze a situation and then to substantiate your placing, your analyzation of it. And that ended up to be tremendous, really tremendous training, because in so doing, it doesn't take you all day to make up a decision, but you analyze the situation, you explain your analyzation, and you make a decision. And it was probably that early training in making a decision that helped me most in life.
Describe a 4-H meeting back then.
A little hectic. You know, fifth and sixth graders are pretty active, and we'd have a meeting. We didn't know any parliamentary procedure and whatnot, and Miss Sassine had instilled in those who paid attention some parliamentary procedure, which has helped me throughout my entire 90 years of life. And we used it to conduct our meeting. We tried to conduct our meetings in an orderly manner and stay on the subject, which was extremely difficult.
Did you have large 4-H groups, or what size was your 4-H?
Since it was not during school hours, really it had the interests of those who were interested in self-developing and those who were just hunting a good time to spend in extracurricular activities. And it really wasn't too large. I think we only had about 15 to 18 active members in the entire school of members of the 4-H club.
What are some things that they offered back then? Did they have contests, or what? Did you
as a, I guess you call them clover buds now, don't you? A young grade school member. We had no particular contests. We were encouraged to participate in exhibition at the county fair, and of course it was craft development, crafts exhibition, or maybe drawing a picture. We didn't have much photography. We had no photography encouragement.
As a young child, what was your family's involvement with Extension? Did your mother belong to the home demonstration clubs, or did the home demonstration agent or the agriculture person help your family in any way?
Yes, my family was extremely active in the Extension service. Mother was very active in a home demonstration club. She was president of the county council. She attended each year the state home demonstration club meeting at Stillwater. Dad was active in self-help from the Extension. Several years he kept records of our poultry activity, and for several years he had the top egg producing flock of chickens in the county. They would report the number of eggs. Tig Fisher would come out and help Dad, and they'd cull the hens, and if one wasn't a really producing hen, he would shuck her and get rid of her. And he had the highest egg production per hen in Ouachita County. He produced eggs for the hatchery, hatching eggs. It was a flock of white monarcha chickens, which is kind of a, well, then they were kind of called the improved Leghorn. Also, Dad started doing some conservation work, and he started a crop rotation program before it was a government program. He started a voluntary crop rotation program and would plant a few black-eyed peas and whatnot in the rotation program, and he is pretty popular during the early part of the Depression, because he planted a field of black-eyed peas, and he would let people who needed some assistance food-wise come out and get the black-eyed peas. We also milked a herd of cows. We milked them by hand. I've gone to sleep lots of mornings with my head in the cow's flank milking. And we separated and sold cream, and he gave the skim milk to needy families who would come and get it. And Tig Fisher was really a popular man in our community, and especially in our family, in assisting Dad and Mom in cooperative extension work.
You mentioned your dad's name was Claude Boothe. What was your mother's name?
Bernice Boothe. She was a Lober. They had, Dad's family was only 2 brothers, and Mom's family was 8 children who reached adulthood, and there were 6 brothers and 2 sisters. Alma Bernice Lober. And she came to Ouachita County in 1904 on a train from Darlow, Kansas, near Hutchinson. And they were neighbors to my dad's parents.
Growing up, can you think of any project or area that your mother did with extension through the home demonstration clubs?
Well, she did lots of canning until I was in junior high. I didn't realize you could buy underwear and whatnot. She made all our, a lot of our clothes, my shirts and whatnot. I'm sure she wasn't appreciated by the feed dealers. At that time, we had 17 places in Washington, in Cordell, you could sell cream and eggs. And there was, most of them handled feed. And she was great on getting feed sacks when feed came in different types of material sacks. She would want invariably the 3rd sack from the bottom or the sack near the bottom, because it matched the sack that she had gotten the week before, and she'd have material to make clothes out of. My sister Patty, 5 years younger than I, she made all her dresses and whatnot out of, as well as my shirts and underwear and whatnot, out of feed sack material. Mom worked for the in the county fair for I don't know how many years. She was extended the an honor of who's who of the Ouachita County Fair in for being the at the fair, being the superintendent of the Farm Women's Club division. And Ouachita County has always had a pretty good fair. We started in 1907 as a county fair. In fact, I guess I have a long record of involvement in the county fair. In 1924, September 1924, I won $1 at the Ouachita County Fair. It was a baby show that they had, whether it was for the honoriest kid or the prettiest or the healthiest or what, but Mom always exhibited her canning and baking items at the county fair. And when I came along as a baby and they had a baby show, she just included me in that exhibit. I won a silver dollar, and I still got that 1924 silver dollar that I won at the 1924 Ouachita County Fair. That's why I'm interested in continuing a good participating county fair in Ouachita County. Several years ago, my wife was a cute little 4-H club member from Dill City. FFA didn't have girls at the time when I was at FFA. and I found me a cute little 4-H club member. We've been married. Well, we celebrated our 70th wedding anniversary last year in December. We've been married 70 years plus, and she worked at the county fair, and both she and I received awards from the county fair for outstanding contribution to continuation and development of the Washita County Fair.
Did the Cooperative Extension Service back then, did they have any involvement in the county fair, or did they help with the county fair in any way?
If it wasn't for the extension involvement, we would not have had a county fair. Yes, the extension, we've been fortunate. We've had some very outstanding extension leaders. Tig Fisher, who was killed in 1937 when he was at summer camp of the National Guard. He was a veteran from World War I, and he was sleeping in a tent and was struck by lightning. And then we had Fred Amon, who was here for many years, did a very good job. Probably the most outstanding group in county fair 4-H involvement would be, most outstanding agent would be Bud Barnes. Bud came from Mangum, Greer County, and no, Bud, his wife was from Mangum. He was from Tillman County at Tipton, and he was a very outstanding extension leader and got involvement from fact, he surprised me. I was awarded a master agronomist degree. My college degree was in animal science, but Bud sent in the application for me, and I was awarded the state agronomy degree. And we've had some, Guy Harlow was an agent that he was District 4-H club agent and made a great contribution to 4-H involvement in Washita County.
Talk a little bit about your college days. When and where did you go? Maybe your favorite classes?
Well, I had a delayed college education. That little 4-H girl was awful cute, and she was a senior in high school, and I was out of high school for 1 year when we were married. And it was 5 years later that I decided to go to college. Dad attended Oklahoma A&M College in the SATC, Student Army Training Corps, in 1917, and 1918. And I attended Oklahoma State. Well, then it was still A&M. My degree was from A&M College. But when it became Oklahoma State, I believe that's about 56, why they sent me another diploma. I was fairly active in college in leadership activities, the collegiate FFA, the Blue Key. I played Alpha Gamma Rho, and I was active in the Alpha Gamma Rho fraternity. I was married. We had one child when we went to Stillwater. I had out of college, out of high school, I had gotten a little bit, I guess, I didn't attend to safety as much as I should have, and I got a little careless. And I got this arm tore up, and I had it in a cast for 3 years, and I realized it was going to be a problem in my farming operation, and I decided to go to college. I'd been out of school 5 years. The first semester, I didn't make the honor roll. I passed everything, but I just barely passed it. And in 2 years and 7 months, I graduated. I carried 22 hours several semesters and never under 20 hours. I was active in collegiate activities and on the student council, which I guess goes back to the early training I got in 4-H, got started not being quite so bashful. And all 3 of our children attended OSU. We told them they could go anywhere they wanted to, but if they went to OSU, we would help them. And they attended Oklahoma State University. We've kind of been an OSU family for many, many years. And I kid my Sooner friends that I recognize the 2 great schools in Oklahoma, and that's OSU and Sunday school. And we get a pretty good laugh out of it. But Dad and Mother were very active in church activities. And of course, Sis and I grew up Sunday, you're supposed to wear your best clothes and get up and do the chores and get around and go to church, which we always did. Dad was a deacon in the First Baptist Church for 58 years here in Cordell. I was fortunate enough to become a deacon and was able to spend 14 of those 58 years with him as a deacon member of the First Baptist Church in Cordell. So it's when I was in college, I was superintendent of the collegiate collegiate Baptist Sunday School at the First Baptist Church in Stillwater, and that involvement of not only early training but early participation in church work on behalf of our family carried over to today in our lives. We had our son when we were in college. We had him before we went to college, and when he was 3 years old, he went home with his my wife's parents, and they sat down to eat, and Max didn't eat. And his mother said, "What's the matter? Aren't you," his grandmother, "aren't you hungry?" And he said, "Yes." "Well, why don't you eat?" He said, "We haven't said the blessing yet." And that really made an impression on that set of grandparents. And when they sat down to eat, they started saying the blessing.
Going back to your college years, what did you major in college?
My major was in animal science. My head of the animal science department was Dr. Wilhelm, and he was my advisor. Later, he became president of Oklahoma A&M College, and I was active on the somewhat on the judging team. I went with the judging team to several contests. I never did win a 4-H FFA, or really it was collegiate contests. I placed well, but never did win. And the training in college has carried on my early day 4-H and FFA training. Really helped when I got to college from a leadership standpoint. I served about 10 years on the alumni board. I was on a committee to pick the 10 outstanding students in Oklahoma State University for four years. And I'll tell you, those kids nowadays are very, very capable, much more than we were when we started to college.
Were any of your children in 4-H growing up?
Yes, our baby girl, Vicky, was very active in 4-H. And that was when Bud Barnes was here. And she wanted to give some demonstration projects. And I wrote a couple demonstration projects for her, one on wheat in the division of the loaves of the slices of bread in a loaf that the farmer gets to keep for the wheat he gives a contribution to bread. And the other was one on cotton production, and she was a National 4-H Club winner and went to Congress in Chicago. She won the with the cotton demonstration. She won the state and national contest with her cotton demonstration. She attended and gave that demonstration to the National Cotton Council meeting, and that year I think it was held in Colorado. And she went and gave that demonstration. And it was real graphic. And Vicki was pretty good in speech. Since she's received her doctor's degree, and she was a college professor in special education at Northeastern at Tahlequah for several years. And she gave that up and went with the Tulsa Votech department, and she's head of the special education department of Votech. And really, her activity in 4-H really made a difference in her ability as an instructor. And she was a little like me. She was a little bit bashful. And she grew out of it, and it really helped. She was the most active of our 3 children in 4-H. Our son was really active fairly active in 4-H early. He showed a steer. He got it in a premium sale at Oklahoma City as a 4-H club member when he was in the 6th grade. And it's the Extension Service has really been a part of the Boothe family activity and Boothe family life. Back with Dad and Mom, with my wife Marilee and I, and also with our children.
Can you think of any specific projects or family activity with your own children that had to do with 4-H or situation or anything?
Well, a proud father is probably demonstrated mostly when our daughter Vicki won the won the state 4-H award in safety and won a trip to the National Congress, which that was held in Chicago. And also when she won the national demonstration on cotton. Incidentally, it was a little bit comical. We took an old white shirt of mine, and Brett Barnes, who was the county extension agent at the time, his son was the demonstrator that Vicki did the episode about, and she would mark with a pen on or a pencil on his shirt and ask the audience, now, can you see that? No. So she gets a pair of scissors and cuts that part out. And Brent didn't know that she was going to do that. He got a little bit, but that was part of the demonstration. And when they got through in the demonstration, the cotton producer, all he had left was the collar and one cuff. All the rest of it was divided among the jinner and the processor and the seed service and the business that sold the items and whatnot. And her winning that national award, especially with my writing it, really made a favorable impression on Dad and Vicki in participation in the 4-H Club program. And when now Vicki got her, well, she got her doctor's degree at OSU. She got her master's degree at Harvard, Lesley College, which is a part of Harvard. They share the library and whatnot of Harvard University. But she used her 4-H Club experience in everyday life, in getting her doctorate degree and in teaching as a college professor, and also as head of the Department of Tulsa Tech Special Education, because it taught you in a graphic way to express what you're trying to teach. And it is just stepstoned in their lives, like it has in my life, of a early day benefit.
How did Bud Barnes help your youngest daughter, Vicki Boothe Foster? How did he help her become successful?
Probably mainly through encouragement. And she would do something, and he thought possibly another approach might be better, and he would ask her what she thought about that approach, and she said, well, we can try it and see. And it wasn't necessarily a do it for her, but it was the ability to get her to consider other approaches in getting the point over. And also in the dependability. Dependability is a very important way of life. If you're not dependable, you got nearly 3 strikes against you. And back as far as my family, Dad gave me one of the best lessons of dependability that I ever had. It was my chore to get the kindling in, so that every morning when he got up at 5 o'clock, he could build a fire, and it would be warmer when Mom and Sis got up and when I got up. Well, it snowed one late in March, one evening, and I got to play in the snow. I didn't get the kindling in. And Dad got up 5 o'clock, and wasn't any kindling. And he came in and woke me up. It'd have been a lot easier if he'd have gone out and got that kindling by himself. But no, Wayne, we forgot to bring the kindling in. Well, it wasn't we, it was me. But it was a family effort that we have a fire. And I got up and dressed and went out and got the kindling and with him and brought it in. And he said, that's part of being dependable. He said, you wouldn't, I was in 4-H that had a show pig. He said, you wouldn't put your pig in a pen and not feed it or water it. We wouldn't put you in a pen and not feed and water you. You got to be dependable. And that lesson has stayed with me all through life, being dependable.
Looking back on your involvement with the Oklahoma Cooperative Extension Service and 4-H, is there anything else of interest historically which you'd like to share or add that we haven't talked about yet?
Oh, I don't know. When you get started, there's lots of items that come to mind. I won the DeKalb wheat production contest, and I've got a plaque from DeKalb as the top winner in their wheat production program, dry land. And it was soil testing convenience, and I fertilized according to the soil test, and was encouraged to do so. And that is an item that helped me win that National DeKalb hybrid wheat growing contest. We kind of got where we, as a Ouachita County, of course, Ouachita County agriculture, it's strictly an agriculture county, but we depend on the Extension Service to give us, keep us informed and help us keep up to date on production. And that isn't just recently. In 1911, Oklahoma A&M College brought a train to Cordell. On that train was college professors. That train was poultry, dairy cattle, and beef cattle, and horses. And they gave a demonstration on the better types of livestock and the ability for county farmers. And this was before the Smith-Lever Act, before the really Extension Service was set up. And that was early day Extension Service prior to the official Extension Service. And they brought education to the farmers to demonstrate progress. And that philosophy has been continued. We got in a cost production bind in our county budget, and the extension program was to be axed, and we were facing with losing the extension program in Ouachita County. And there was about 10 or 12 of us got together. We were all farm background. We were farmers. We had some businessmen on it who were raised on the farm. And we financed a vote and a program to set aside sales tax, increase it for the continuation of the Extension Service as a 5-year program. And I think we're now, in our fourth 5-year program in financing the Extension Service. And it has really helped because the Extension Office is kind of considered the headquarters of solving technical problems in agricultural production.
What are some other ways that you have used the Extension Service besides your soil testing and so forth in agriculture?
Oh, field days, the program of educating city dwellers who have not had a recent farm background about the present problems, the program of extension in a county, a rural county, is for everyone in the county. And if you have flowers that you've got a disease about, or if you want to maybe do a little landscaping of your homestead, the Extension Service, Bud Barnes did a tremendous amount of landscaping recommendations. And the County Extension Service has been available for that to everyone in the county.
In wrapping up, can you think of anything else that you'd like to share that we haven't talked about yet?
Oh, there's probably several things I could share, but the Extension Service, just like Oklahoma State University, is has a soft spot in my heart for continuation. We've rambled an awful lot. Go back to the parliamentary part of a meeting and whatnot, and training in 4-H. In the Sturgis parliamentary training that Miss Sassine taught us was a saying that I've remembered all through life since 5th grade. I love a public speaker. I really truly do. I don't mean one who's polished, but I just mean one who's through. So evidently we might be through of the interview, unless there's specifics you'd rather have.
Well, thank you for joining us today and sharing your stories. I've enjoyed listening to them, and I'm sure others will as well.